were obviously in the game, and little mistakes is what kept us from winning.
Talk about the offensive struggles on third down. What you saw there. I think you guys were 4 of 19 on the night, and it kind of killed drives, especially after big plays. Can you talk a little bit about that?
As far as offensive struggles go, we're not necessarily a throwing team, but when our numbers call, we just got to make plays. And there was plenty of times where you could blame certain people, but at the end of the day, we're a team. And whether it's the quarterback's fault or the receiver's fault, we have to come together as a team and make the play when we're called on. So as a receiving core, we have to get better, and it's just that simple. Sorry.
What do you think of Boise State's defense compared to a couple of teams you've played?
I think they left some stuff out there for us that we didn't capitalize on, but they were a good defense. They were disciplined, and they were aggressive, and they wanted to win more than us, apparently.
Talk about maybe your defense's game tonight. I mean, they kept you guys in the ball game throughout the game. I mean, it's not the high-powered offense. Talk a little bit about what you saw there, what you liked from them.
It's been a couple games now that our defense has fought for us, kept scoring outs consistently. We just got to get some points on the board. Having 3 points in halftime is not acceptable.
How does it feel as a true freshman to get not only targeted and playing time, but it seems like the game plan is you're a big part of the game plan as well?
It's a great feeling, but at the same time, I just like to make a play when my number's called, because there's only going to be so many times a game. So when they do call number 9, I just got to be there to make the play.
Okay.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Rashad Lewis there. Rashad had like 6 or 7 catches this game, so I mean, for a true freshman to come out first game on the blue turf at Boise to get 7 catches, he came up huge. Unfortunately, I think it's hard to ignore the penalties and the false starts, and every big play was followed up by a false start, and basically Utah State shooting themselves in the foot. So that's the story of the game, those false starts, the offensive line making those mistakes. It's hard to overcome those mistakes, and I think the biggest, most frustrating thing is it was just over and over and over. It was like 4 big plays, 4 false starts, 4 first downs, 4 false starts. So really, it's basically it's really unacceptable. I don't know how else to explain it when Utah State does it over and over and again. So looks like we'll get another player or Coach Wells. So we'll see. The defense seemed like they came up pretty big, came up with a lot of stops. It just seemed like maybe you guys were on the field too much. Did you feel like you kind of got tired there at times, or what can you explain that with, I guess?
Nah, as this defense, we don't get tired. We play defense. That's one thing we pride in on this team, and Coach Wells always talk about culture, and our culture with this defense is play great defense.
Daniel, how much pride can you take in holding Boise State to 7 points in the first half? I mean, they'd scored at least 17 points in every other first half this season.
We take a lot of pride in that. We gave them one. That's on us. But we prepared all week. All week, our coaches did a great job with putting us in the right position, the right calls, and we just came out and executed.
Was it kind of like playing Air Force, because you have to stay on your man no matter what, no matter if there's a pass to the side, trick play, anything like that, or how do you kind of explain that?
It's a little different than playing Air Force. Air Force is a triple option team. They're going to pound it and unpound it. Boise is kind of a balanced team. They kind of want to throw the ball around, sling the ball around the yard, and then run the ball. So I wouldn't compare those two.
Just, staying on the receiver no matter what happens.
We dialed up a lot of men this game, and our coach felt very comfortable with the DBs and the matchups against their receivers. So.
Okay.
With the offensive struggles tonight, was it a matter of, did you guys have the mindset you just got to go out and do your job and keep your team in the ball game, or was there a little bit of pressure on you guys too as well?
No pressure. No pressure. We always going to play great defense. We can go out there and play 300 snaps of defense. We're going to take pride in playing defense.
Okay.
Good. Anything else for Danny? Okay. Thanks.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
There's Danny Gray, and Coach Wells is up next, I suppose. I think I'm just going to ask Coach Wells about all the repeat penalties, the repeat mistakes. If there's something you can do to change that, change personnel, change in coaching. I don't know. I mean, I think that's what's most frustrating. Hit me up, hit me or Seth up on Twitter, Aggie up, or call it U State. Let us know what you think as far as what the Aggies can do to change.
A little bit like last weekend, that little things really came to the surface and hurt you a little bit.
You know what was a little uncharacteristic of us in terms of some of the mistakes that we made? Pre-snap, made some communication mistakes on defense. We had a couple on offense. It's been unlike us, and that's the frustrating part. The thing that was there was the effort, the want to, the passion, the hurt in that locker room. We got to find ways against a good team like that to capitalize more early. Obviously, the missed field goal hurts us, or that last drive's to tie it, and then a couple other times we get down into the 35 to 40, the high fringe, high red area, and we go backwards on offense. Like a first down and it's 1st and 15, and then it's 2nd and 10, and there you go, and you never was close enough to be able to go for it, in terms of we just made too many mistakes.
Matt, your offense, I mean, you had you gassed them for
Thanks,
some big plays. You really did, but how much did this offensively just come down to not being
just inconsistent offensively, inconsistent in terms of protection, inconsistent in terms of running the ball. But then we had those mistakes that bogged us down too. So that's a form of inconsistency.
You talk about last year you had the game was vastly different as far as turnovers go. This year you only got one, and right at the end of the half. I mean, how big was that for you guys not being able to capitalize on that right before the half?
Well, what hurts you is you miss the field goal, and you're going to get the ball the second half, and at some point it's going to come back to haunt you, and that's what you don't want to have happen. And it did come back to haunt us because that last drive is you're down 2 scores.
Matt, one thing you can definitely build on is you did not turn the ball over against their defense. Their defense has had a couple defensive touchdowns this year. How big was that?
Well, it's a good thing, but I wouldn't term it big, or it helped us win the game. Not turning the ball over on offense will help you if you can be consistent. We just bogged down. It was one really good play, and then it was an inconsistent play or two. And against a good defense like that, you've got to be able to put plays together and finish a drive off, and we weren't able to do that.
How big of was it for you guys not to have Mace tonight? Maybe you don't have him back there. I mean, it seemed like you just kind of couldn't get clicking. You only had a couple of drives that were in the second half that were more than 4 or 5 plays.
Well, Devontae's certainly a good running back and our best running back, or we would, that's why we were starting. I think Tony Lindsay and Lawan are very capable. We got to be better up front, and we got to be more consistent as an offense as a whole for them to be able to do anything, though.
Talk about your defense tonight. Boise State was a 21-point favorite. They had all kinds of weapons. Defense kind of kept you guys in the game.
23 and a half, they told me before the game, but I'm not one of those guys. Somebody's telling me all that stuff before the game.
But talk about your defense and the performance that they had tonight.
I thought our defense played well. But the culture at Utah State right now is we gave up too many points, and they'll be the first to tell you that. But I did think they played well. They contained them fairly good early on. I thought we gave up some rushing yards there in the middle of the fourth quarter, but trick play, miscommunication, and a mistake on the touchdown pass in the corner. But to play great defense, you got to be able to make those plays, and we didn't do it.
You mentioned it. It's frustrating to have those mistakes, and it seems like those things keep happening over and over. The false starts, the third down,
it's the first game that's happened, though, Isaac.
In the game. It happened 4 times. Yeah. So for that to happen over and over, how can you, going forward, I know this game was maybe a little bit different, but the red zone and some of those things have happened.
I don't know. We practice crowd noise every day.
Yeah.
Practice with, you've been out there. We practice with the music
going quick, that kind of thing.
As loud as it could be.
Yeah.
Us going
quick seemed to be an issue a couple times as well. So do you look at that and maybe can that explain it maybe a little bit? Yeah.
We practice it and we do it in an environment as close to this as we can.
Yeah.
We've been into other loud stadiums besides this and not had those issues. So again, like I said earlier, and I just said it to our guys, I'm surprised.
Right.
That's not us. It hasn't been us over the years in terms of that on the road and this. It's frustrating, but we obviously need to go back and look and see what we're doing if we're putting our kids in a good spot, and we got to be a little bit more sound in what we're doing in terms of wideouts getting lined up and O-linemen getting lined up.
Were those third downs just average of 8 yards or whatever it was, kind of just too long on third downs?
I never got into third and medium and third and 2 to 3 categories, and that's a result of first down.
Right.
It was killing us. Yeah, that's a good point.
Can you tell us about the ejection? Did you see it, and did you agree with the call on the punt return that ended up hitting the returner?
Quite frankly, I was watching the protection and the rush, and then I got my ass down there late, and I saw it late.
It's kind of a close line.
Yeah. How do you think losing him for that targeting call will affect upcoming games?
Well, he won't play the first half of the next game.
Yeah.
It's not going to affect what we do. He just won't be able to play the first half, just like their guy. It won't affect us as a defense. It won't affect our preparation. It won't affect his preparation. He'll come out and play good in the second half.
Anything else for Coach?
Thanks, guys.
Paige wanted me to ask you, so.
You want to warm up? How many penalties do we have? Did you see this?
So much what?
How many penalties do we have? Did you see the stats?
Penalties were 8?
No. When I came down, you were at 11.
Oh, 11. I saw 8.
Penalties, 12 for 90 yards.
12 for 90. Third down. Obviously, red zone issues. Missed field goal. Just so many chances, so many opportunities that they could have taken advantage of. So that's it, I guess.